We turn now to the Constitutional Court as speculation abounds over the date of the ruling on President Yoon Suk Yeol's impeachment. For more on this, I have our political correspondent Shin Ha-young standing by live at the court. Ha-young, it's good to have you on. So when can we expect to hear the court's verdict on the president's political fate?
Well, Sunny, today was the expected day for the announcement of the ruling date based on the initial expectation that the verdict would be delivered this Friday. However, we are still waiting for the Constitutional Court to announce this. And this means that considering previous presidential impeachment trials, when the dates came out 2 to 3 days in advance, the chances of a ruling this week now seem less likely. And since the final hearing last month, the court has been holding deliberations almost every day for the past 2 weeks, excluding holidays and weekends. And despite this, it has already been the longest deliberation period of presidential impeachment trials. And if the ruling comes next week, it'll also set the record for the longest time from the impeachment of a president to the final verdict. And it is reportedly known that Yoon's case is taking longer because there are many contested issues. And also with the impeachment verdicts on the chief state auditor and 3 top prosecutors scheduled for tomorrow, it's expected that Yoon's case will likely be pushed back to next week, as it's rare for the court to issue major rulings on consecutive days. And if the ruling happens early next week, there may be a notice by the end of this week, so we'll need to keep an eye on this.
I see. Moving on then, Ha-young, does the president's recent release from detainment look to affect the Constitutional Court's ruling on his impeachment?
Well, the general consensus in the legal circle is that it won't have much impact. And this is because the issue with the detention cancellation mainly concerns how the period is calculated, which is different from the impeachment trial that focused on the declaration of martial law. However, as a Seoul court ruling on Yoon's detention also highlighted procedural flaws in the investigative process, some say it could put some pressure on the Constitutional Court. An official from the court said the judges will assess whether there is any impact, but noted that the investigation records from the CIO were not used in the impeachment trial, so it's unlikely to have a significant effect. And following the detention cancellation, there were calls from the ruling party for hearings in the impeachment trial to resume. However, so far, there's been no move from President Yoon's side asking for a resumption. And if more hearings are held, there are concerns that a delay in the ruling could lead to more pressure from the opposition party over the appointment of Constitutional Court Justice nominee Ma Eun-hyuk, a left-leaning judge recommended by the opposition Democratic Party.
Right, and in the meantime, Ha-young, I hear protests for and against the president remain intense. Do tell us more about that.
Sure, Sunny. I can definitely say that both the size and volume of rallies are growing in front of the court ahead of the verdict. And also the political battle between the rival parties is escalating outside the National Assembly. The main opposition Democratic Party began a march from the assembly to Gwanghwamun this afternoon, calling for Yoon's impeachment. And the ruling People Power Party said it wouldn't hold protest or pressure the Constitutional Court, but some of its members are staging relay protest in front of the court. And also today, PPP lawmakers visited the court and submitted their second petition to appeal for the court to dismiss Yoon's impeachment. And meanwhile, police are considering issuing the highest emergency level on the day of the ruling, which would allow them to mobilize up to 100% of available police officers. And additionally, they have requested the Land Ministry to temporarily impose a no-fly zone over the Constitutional Court. And that's all I have for this hour. Back to you, Sunny.
All right, Ha-young, thank you for that coverage. That was our political correspondent Shin Ha-young reporting live from the Constitutional Court.